Here we are at part 6, and we're in the acid-base balance, and it's the page right here is 1011, and we're now on problem number 2. So let's we just did problem number 1 in our previous section. So let's take a look here at problem number 2, and we can see that this individual has a blood value here of pH 7.48. Again, we're outside the range of 735 to 745 in the alkaline direction. Okay, and we have a partial pressure of CO2. Actually, it's high. Let's take a look at that. What is normal here for CO2? Normal CO2 is 35 to 45, so 46 millimeters is just a touch high. Okay, so 46, just a little bit high. But it turns out that CO2 contributes to acidity, not to alkalinity. This is alkalinity over here, and this is acidity. So that cannot be a cause. It could be a compensation, but not a cause. Okay, and then over here we have bicarb in terms of its milliequivalents is 33 milliequivalents, and the norm here is going to be 22 to 26. We got too much bicarb by comparison to acidity. Okay, so with an excess of bicarb, then this has to be the cause. This is metabolic alkalosis, and it's being compensated, so that means the rate of respiration has decreased. You see, so it's important that you pick this up as somebody in either the nursing or MD situation. You need to take a look at the notes and go, oh, it was just recorded. This person's respirations have slowed down. Okay, and so it's being compensated. So it's a metabolic alkalosis being compensated by a slower breathing pattern. Okay, and they have the analysis right here. The pH is elevated. It's alkalosis. Number 2, the piece of CO2 or the partial pressure of CO2 is elevated, but this is the cause of acidosis, not alkalosis, so it can't be a cause. And then the bicarb is elevated and is the cause of alkalosis. So the conclusion here, if I can get out of the glare, this is metabolic alkalosis being compensated by respiratory acidosis, retention of CO2 to restore blood pH to normal range. Now you can't stop breathing. You can't breathe too slowly, because then you're not going to be able to get adequate oxygen, and there's going to be some problems. Okay, so there's always problems in trying to balance the respiration with the metabolic situation. You can see the problem, right? So oftentimes we have something like mountain sickness, and it's often as a result of somebody having a very rich diet but then going up to a high altitude. And it's characterized by such things as headache, stiff neck, and difficulty in breathing, of course, if you haven't made the adjustment, and besides nausea in addition to the headache. And so people try to overcome the headache and the nausea with Rolaids. They could have just not had steak and eaten vegan food with the porters. But anyway, so the idea is that you can see that now that person, when they go to sleep that night, they're going to be not getting adequate oxygen because their rate of respiration is going to be declined during sleep because they have a blood pH that's, at any rate, you can see what's going on. And this is a very interesting problem, and we're going to be having this as a part of our test. So expect that in our next lecture quiz to be looking at precisely this situation.